leader with Girl Guiding East Hampshire. We're just going to do a very short video here today talking about fire safety and how to start a fire. First of all, always ask permission if you're going to have a fire, and it should always be outdoors. Here, because the ground has some quite long grass on it and we want to protect that where we can, we're actually doing it in a barrel. If you're at home and doing this in your garden, you can even do it, have a small fire in your barbecue or a smoke pit or a chimney or whatever you have around. But always ask permission and make sure there's always someone with you. So right now I have Claire behind the camera. So first of all, we need to think about fire safety. So with fire, of course, comes heat. So I actually have behind me our fire bucket, and we have a hose just out of shot as well. So if I maybe get a small burn or whatnot, I can duck it in the cold water before I can get to a tap. And also we can use that if we want to put the fire out or even dull it down a little bit. So always make sure you have water on hand. When we build a fire, we start with the smallest things that we want to burn, and then things get bigger and bigger. So you'll see here I've got some wood shavings, or people can call that wood wool. I've got some cotton buds that I'm going to hopefully set fire to first. And then we have small sticks, which are maybe something around the size of a pencil, say, that we would call kindling. I've also then got bits of bark, and that set fire really easily. So even when I've just got small little flames, that'll be a treat. And then we're going to slowly increase the size in wood. So I've got a small wood pile here going from the smallest to the largest bits. So I am nice and steady on my knees, so I'm not standing over the fire in case I might trip or fall. So I'm sat on my knees, my weight is behind me, so that if anything happens, I can get away from this as quick as possible. Now when we build a fire, as I say, we always start with the smallest bits. I always put it on a bed of either what you've burnt before, so the Scouts and Guides, their summer fires from before we stopped. The remnants here at the bottom, that's really good for starting a fire. Or you can just put a bed of new logs on the bottom as well, and that helps raise it up off the ground a little bit and lets more air in, which is always useful with a fire. So remember, for a fire we have what's known as the fire triangle, and these are the three important things that all fires need, and that's fuel, and we are using wood. That's air, so it's a bit windy, so that'll be quite good, that'll help get the air in. You'll see everything's quite loose, it's open, so plenty of oxygen can get in to feed the fire. And then we need heat as well. So we want to contain that, so here we're using the barrel. And to start the fire you can use several different things. I've got some matches and some fire lighters, which we might resort to, you never know. But I'm going to start with what's known as a striker or a flint and a steel. And what happens with this is, just like you would always strike a match away from you, you also strike the striker away from you, and it will create sparks. You might be able to see them, don't know if the camera will pick them up, but it's just wee sparks that this will create. So just some wee sparks like so. So what we're going to try and do is see if our striker can light, first of all, the cotton wool. The cotton wool will then get involved with this, what's known as wood wool, or whatever you have. If you've got guinea pigs and rabbits and you line that with sawdust, you can use a wee bit of that to get it started, and then the kindling. So let's have a go and see what happens. Oh. Okay, and so that's now the cotton wool has set alight, which hopefully you can see that. So we've now just got wee flames. You can see the wind is actually quite good here, so that's super. And you'll see I've left it open on one side, so the wind is coming in this way, so it'll hopefully blow onto that kindling that you can see here. And so I'm just going to very slowly and very carefully add a bit more kindling. And so that's that wood wool, because it's super fine, it catches really fast, but it also burns out really fast. So you need to make sure that some of this other stuff is going to catch. So that looks like it's going to get going quite happily, so we'll see you soon for campfire.